All right, friends, what's up? It's Trev here. It's Curse Bitten. I thought I'd do something a little different, trying to make another educational type of video. Maybe I'll give myself, I don't know, probably an hour, maybe like 45 minutes to just kind of come up with a song, or at least the beginnings of a song, and talk my way through it and see what happens. So yeah, let's check it out. You can see here I've just got the click set up. And I picked one instrument to start with. This is free. I guess I'll try to use free stuff today. So this is Astral Forms from Spitfire Labs. I picked it because it's cool and I haven't really played around with it much. This patch is the circular patch. I thought it'd be good for some sort of like, I don't know, good place to start, just with some like juicy, synthy, spooky kind of chords. All right, so I'm thinking we'll keep it simple. Just stick to like A minor, at least as a starting point. Probably just like when I write, I like to lay down a chord progression and then kind of noodle on top of it and see what comes out like with the melody, and then I can think about a harmony further on. Like think about how the harmony may change as the melody develops, and can also think about like texture, like what you want the song to sound like. Sonically as you develop that way. Yeah, I don't know. So starting on an A minor makes sense, and maybe we'll play around with like a key change or something kind of funky. I don't know, we'll find out. Start on an A minor and maybe like but that starts to sound really typical. So you'd want to avoid like a C there. So maybe like an E minor's kind of nice. Maybe it loops back around. Maybe we could even like split a measure and do like yeah, that seems simple enough to be a nice jumping off point. So what I've got right here is just like a basic A minor chord, so spelled like A, C, E, A, into an F chord, and then an E minor chord, and it's like 4 counts of the A minor, and then 2 of the F, 2 of the E minor. But I probably don't want to spell it that way. For this, it seems like they're like wide, full, like each note takes up a lot of sonic space. So maybe a tight chord like that wouldn't be as good as like octaves there. Even something still super basic would be like the root as an octave in the left hand, and then just flesh out the chord in the right hand. So this is like A, then E, A, C. Yeah, just like a little more, the low notes are not bunched up together, but it still sounds full. I like to write chords like that. Maybe we'll edit it later on if we feel like that's not the right amount of space, but we can keep that and go into the F. Keep it super simple. We're not even really like keeping our upper notes in the same thing. We're just moving our hands around. Let's see how that works with the click. Also, I'm not very good at keys, so if it's a little sloppy, forgive me. So let's record that dude in. Nice. All right. So that's already pretty slick. That's Control R is like the shortcut to record there when something's armed. I'm probably missing out on a ton of shortcuts, but I do know a couple. And I don't know. I don't want to over edit it, but I am a bad musician, so we can like, this is pretty suspect. We can go ahead and quantize that to eighth notes, and then we can even, let's see, I don't know how much release is on here. Yeah, that's nice to have. Let's see. Like, you don't want, so like if it goes right up to it like this, then there's not enough breathing room in between them. You know, it's nice to have a little bit of space, but maybe we can just extend it a bit and see how that sounds. Yeah, that's pretty nice. We'll grab this just a little. Maybe even we'll divide a little more. Nice. In this, I'm right clicking here to select a bunch of notes at once. Yeah, and that's a good start. We'll go ahead and save just to have it. Alright, so we've got this guy. I'm just going to loop this a little bit. Don't need to be too picky about it. There's probably a better way to do this. But that's all right. Okay, and we can maybe even run that one more time. And that'll serve as like maybe intro, first verse type of thing. All right, we're adding another instrument, and I want to play around more with this astral forms, so let's check this out. I went through them, but I kind of forgot. Definitely want to hit the sax organ at some point because it's so cool. But I don't think we're quite ready for that yet. I think I remember chorus pad being kind of nice for a lead. Ooh, probably needs a little bit less everything. It's a lot of release on that. It might just be the nature of the patch, though. What does this control? Just dynamics. Oh, okay. Alright, I think I like this sound. Let's try to get some sort of melody over it. So, I even liked... Maybe, it is a little grating, but that's alright. We can, I don't know, pop it down a little bit. So, yeah, something like somewhat... So when I write a melody, there's a couple things that you want to think about. You can think about like a scale that makes sense over the chords and the progression that you're working over. For instance, we're playing clearly an A minor here. Everything's chords from A minor. So A minor scale is totally up for grabs there. Also things that just kind of work with A minor. So like the root being an A and then having the minor third, so that C is pretty important to picking a scale that sounds like relatively normal over it. Of course, you can do whatever you want. But some of the other things, some of the like secondary or tertiary kind of characteristics, you can play around with. So like A minor, it normally has this flat 6, or a minor 6, but if you wanted to make it a major 6, as long as that doesn't clash with the chord you're playing over, that could be good, and it'll give it this nice, what's known as like a Dorian sound of having that. So maybe, yeah, I guess the thing that I'm trying to say there is one of the aspects to writing a melody. It's helpful to think about the scale options, because then you have a nice pool of notes to look through. It's also important to think about arpeggios of the chords you're playing over. And again, there's no hard rules. Some stuff will sound nice if you work it out, especially if you resolve it. But like for instance, if I'm playing over an A minor, that's going to have an A, a C, and an E in it. So maybe I don't want to conflict too much with that. I probably won't be putting a C sharp in my melody because that's not going to sound too slick over the C, unless it's very intentional and I resolve it. If I'm quickly trying to like jam out a melody, it's nice to be a little simple. And yeah, so I'm kind of thinking scales, kind of thinking arpeggios, and then kind of following my ear. Yeah, and that goes, as we're going into other chords, you can think, so this second chord is an F. That's F, A, C. Now we know we're in the key of A minor, so we can consider like A minor scales. So A minor or like A Dorian, things that fit there. So A scales with a minor third. We can also consider like F arpeggio. So, it's probably a little more stable if we land on our F than when we were over that A minor, which had an E in it, which is going to sound a little harsh with an F. Although, like, again, if you resolve it, like if that's an F resolving to an E, that sounds really nice. Yeah, I guess just the takeaway here is be conscious of your scale. Be conscious of the notes in the chord that you're playing over. Be conscious of like where the chord that you're playing over may relate to the scale or to the key that you're playing in. You can kind of think about all this stuff and pool it together, and then also follow your ear. And you end up with a lot of tools to help you quickly come up with an interesting melody and as a jumping off point. And of course, if any of these theory points are weak for you, you can ultimately always follow your ear. But knowing, the more theory you know, the more tools you have, and you can bang out some interesting ideas without stumbling into them, if that makes any sense. So all of that to say, and here we'll add chorus pad. All that to say, let's just kind of loop this and try to find a cool melody to play over it. Hopping up to that E there and then kind of doing the arpeggio and then landing on a less stable note. So the 7 of this A minor, and then you can come into the A, which is the 3rd of the next chord, and that's pretty nice. So see, that's a pretty slick thing. And then I think the natural stable thing would be to go down to the G as that E minor starts, but it's nice to hang on the A bit, keep some tension, and then so resolve that tension a little bit into the chord. So it's not going with what's immediately predictable. It's exciting. You're kind of on the edge of the seat listening. And then the second time around for the progression, I didn't start as high, but I kept the same like descending pentatonic idea. I think I might have even ditched the pentatonic, landed on a slightly unstable note on the F, and then went down to the 1 over to an F, something really solid. So, I don't know, I guess to try to take something away, which is the goal with videos like these, I banged out some stuff that I thought would at least sound okay, and then I gravitated towards concepts that I like, and now I'm kind of thinking about why I like them and how to improve them, and eventually make them part of the melody. So, yeah, let's just run that again. We'll even count in. I don't totally like how late I landed on the F there, because it made the transition into the E minor not the right amount of tension. So let's keep playing around with it. that sounded really slick. I think that was a good middle ground between some of those ideas that I was trying. So let's bang that out one more time, and then maybe we'll record it in and go in, mess around with the MIDI, see what we can come up with. Nice. That's close enough. I think that was a little different, but I like how it turned out regardless. So maybe we quantize it, see how that's cooking. Yeah, that's kind of nice. And this is kind of a little nitpicky, but I noticed that things kind of sound nice with this patch to leave a little bit of space. Whereas since I've been playing around with the MIDI, things are cut really hard. So I'm just gonna let these guys get a little longer. Something like that might sound smoother going into it. Love that. Sounds nice. Yeah, it's always cool if you don't love like something rhythmically in a melody, or there's like one note that you felt like was maybe a poor choice, just go in and edit that MIDI. Go crazy. That's what I think anyway. So maybe we can develop the melody a little bit more in the future, but for now, let's just throw that guy right here. Yeah, so we're just going to double the melody for now. Maybe we'll develop it as we get to work, but this will be a good jumping off point. I like to get a melody that I'm happy with, of chords that I'm happy with, and then work on like A parts, B parts, like work on shifting to another section of the song, and also work on instrumentation. And those you can kind of do however you like. This is nitpicky, but we can clean up the MIDI a little bit. That's too long of like an overhang there. All right, so what do we add next? We can go to another section, which is pretty logical. Or like I said, we can add some more instrumentation to this one. I feel like I'm feeling creative right now. Let's think of another place to go. So right now we've really... it's nice. We've got this solid verse-ish section, but we've only played around with 3 chords, and even within the key, there's plenty of other places to go. It's nice if you start a new section, you want it to sound, you want it to stand out as different from a previous section, and that's really well accomplished by using chords that you haven't used yet, or at least putting chords in different places than where they've been used. And if we've only used these 3 chords, that even without getting out of the key, that still leaves a ton of space for something different. So like we can start on a C, for example. We haven't done anything with that. Yeah, maybe even make it like, gosh, we barely touched the key. So maybe something like that, or we could go to a G there, which could be nice, and then of course we could modulate. We could do something kind of weird. Let's see, like we could go to a D major. That'd be kind of neat. My thoughts there, D major would be so we're in A minor right now, and we're pulling directly from A minor, but that shares a lot of notes, all but one, with E minor. So if we take a chord from E minor, introduce that F sharp would be from E minor, and I don't know, that'd be kind of exciting without getting too so exotic that it doesn't feel like it fits. So let's just try a couple options of where to go after this section. So we'll try a couple different chords, see what's going on. And it's okay if it's a little herky-jerky. We can use some instrumentation to ease our way. And that's maybe a little too bright to have that. Maybe, let's see. Maybe like a B minor could be exciting. Let's see. Maybe diatonic is going to work best here. We can save something like that for another spot. Maybe we could go into a G here, and then we kind of established a slightly new key center. That's kind of nice. Okay, yeah, I like that. I like, this is somewhat of this idea of a pivot chord, which is a pretty fun music theory concept. So, we're in A minor, and I've decided I want to use something from E minor. There's already so much shared that you can just go directly from one to another, but a very slick way to get from one key to the next is to find a chord that's shared between both of them, and then put that in between kind of to bridge the gap. So right now we've been in A minor, we add in this G major, which is a chord in A minor, but also, it's a chord in E minor, so that eases that transition into the B minor there. Let's do that. I like it. So we'll see what to do from here. Maybe to a C from here. Oh, okay. I think a slick way to do this. So one thing maybe to note about what I was doing there. It sounds nice. So see how this is broken up into 2 bars and then 1 bar and then 1 bar. It's nice to not follow that format as you go through sections. It's an easy way to make sections stand out. Stand out without getting too outside of what's comfortable for the song. So we're just gonna put out some chords there, and we'll stick with the same this idea here for fleshing them out. And then let's try that and go to a C. Yeah. We'll see what happens. That's a nice thing. Already, I like that. We can even pull this guy back a bit because I think we'll maybe play this twice. And I have a kind of fun idea here. We'll see how it works. So I think here, from the C, instead of the A minor, so right now our progression's like a G. Oh. Yes, we've got this G into a B minor. Into a C. And we were going into the A minor. Alright, I do have a cool idea for changing this now that we have the second one. So our chords now, we've got the G into the B minor, into the C, into the A minor, but we want to get a strong resolution back to an A minor for this verse sound. So I think this there's this idea of secondary dominance. It's a really fun thing to look into theory-wise, but a chord wants to go up a fourth. It's kind of following the circle of fifths. Dominant chords really want to resolve in particular, so a chord with like a 7 on it. And then in general, chords want to move up a fourth. A C loves to go to an F. C, F. Let's see. I feel like this guy got quiet all of a sudden. But never minding that, we want to get to an A minor very strongly. So we're going to go non-diatonic here, and we'll take the chord. This is somewhat of a complicated relationship, but the chord that's a fifth above an A, or built off of the note a fifth above an A, the opposite relationship of that is a fourth. Probably not doing the best job of explaining it here, but the secondary dominant, a chord's going to move up a fourth and resolve really well. So we're going to find something that's a fourth below an A minor, so that when we start this A minor section, it's a strong resolution going into it. What's a fourth below an A minor? There's so many ways to take this to explain it. I'll probably keep it simple and just say, hey, it's an E. And we'll do that, but diatonically we'd have the E minor, but we can make that resolution stronger by making it E major and then even adding a 7 to it, so this D. So we're going outside of the key, we're adding a G sharp when we've got like an E minor type of section in A minor. It's a little debatable what's going on here. But yeah, I know particularly like our chord before this final chord of the measure is a C, and I know that C into E major sounds nice as it is, and then that E major is really going to lead in to the A minor that we'll be starting with when we loop back into the verse. So executive decision here, we're getting out of diatonic, we're going to do something spicy and use a secondary dominant. The only question is how to voice it. I think that going a little low for the octave is probably, I don't know, we can always bring it up if we don't like it. And I'm going to stick on an easier thing here. Okay, so that's an E. So E dominant 7 is what's going to lead so well into this A minor, and that's spelled E, G sharp, B, and then the D is the 7. We can kind of, doesn't always have to be in that order. I think that I'd like to go, so we've got our octave doubled here, E and E. I'll probably put a B right here. Let's throw the 7 on, and then maybe put the 3 on top with this G sharp. Let's see how that sounds. Especially with the A minor. So this section's from the verse. This will be going into an A minor. Yeah, that leads together pretty nice. All together, these chords. So and we'll do the last. So this would be a verse section here, and then the start of what could be like a chorus section or a B section. Then it'll turn around back into the verse here. It sounds pretty nice. We could use like additional instrumentation later on to spice that up a little bit. I did say I was going to spend an hour on this, which I think that it's nice for somewhat of a challenge like this to do that out, but the clock is ticking, so maybe we get a melody over this, and then we start doing some instrumentation, something like that. So the question now is, do we want the same lead sound as we go into this second part, this chorus part? I think that a good idea is to make this lead sound take like the back seat and do some sort of like simple counter melody, and have the new lead be something different. At this point, we're kind of having fun with Astral Forms. I think, at least for the bulk of the song, we can just keep using that guy. It'll be a fun addition to the challenge. So let's see what we've got. Anything that would make for a good melody. Okay, I bet that if we take the sax organ, pop down the release, which seems to be pretty cranked. Oh, it's wild with even a little less release. Let's put it like there and see what we can get. That's too abrupt. Okay, I do like where we're going with this. We'll pump that a little bit. We're getting ideas. The juices are flowing. That's kind of fun. We're gonna want to quantize that. Alright, MIDI's been cleaned. We're sounding a lot slicker. Yeah, I think it's time to get some sort of simple counter melody going on with this this chorus pad from earlier. Alright, so I just wrote out a new melody. I put it in its own track over here so we can edit it a little further. Basically, my thoughts here are to stick in the background and try to do movements that didn't always line up with these. See like places where the note's changing. It's not always where the note's changing here, to offer like that idea of a counter melody. And I'm generally thinking about harmonizing with the chord underlying it, but also harmonizing with the melody. And also not harmonizing perfect with everything. I felt like things were a little too stable and it was starting to sound like a little ballady and not so edgy. So hopefully this kind of adds some tension there. Like that's such a overly done Lydian sound over that C, and I think it sounds nice. Just something that like maybe a little careful panning could be nice. Editing down things towards the end. And then, let's see. So we're going to be going back into this, although maybe it's worth starting its own section. I've been a little sloppy today, just trying to do things quickly with not making new tracks for different sections. Some sort of lead-in would be nice there, like even just so let's see, this starts on an E, so even like a D right here, like a light one, we'll just draw it in. Let's see. Maybe half of that. Yeah, that's kind of nice. So definitely trying to flesh out a song, we would have some sort of melodic development here, something like that. So let's see, maybe we keep this in mind and try to think of something. Generally, like I like to build in tension and I don't know, energy, I guess, is good to think about as you move into further sections. So going into something higher can be a lot of fun. So let's see. So we're doing here, was this like... Okay, that's a good first part. Maybe we build on that. But let's see. Ooh. Alright, I like this melody. I'm gonna clean up the MIDI, get to work. Alright, we're back. I've determined it's time to add some drums in, and I really had trouble finding a drum sound that worked well for this. I kind of messed around. This is Cassette Drums. I think it's by Dan Keene, I believe. I'm running this through Decent Sampler, and then I've got this Valhalla Vintage Verb over it, which is just lovely. And I popped down the tone on this and kind of messed with the release a little, and it's a nice sound for this. This is shaping up to be much more on the synth side than the dungeon side, so I do think it's something that sounds kind of nice with it. So yeah, I was kind of thinking of snare patterns to go over this, and something like that seems good with like hit on the 2 and then a hit on the 3 and instead of the 4. Yeah, I don't know. And we'll maybe go like no snare for most of this beginning part. Maybe just color it in at the end. And check that out. Then maybe we'll mess with some kicks. This feels like something that like a weird edited drum kit would be fine, even if that's not super common in the genre. Something like I picked up from Francis Roberts is you kind of think songs work out when you don't try to make the genre. You start with the idea, but then you follow what the song wants. And this seems like some sort of weird space ballad with crunchy cassette sounding chords. And I think we just got to lean in with that. So yeah, I'll just write in this snare pattern and see how that goes. Yeah, I think that's all right. I guess I'll quantize. That's probably fine. Let's see. And then it'd be nice to Whoa. I cut kind of a trick here. If you want to like blend in a snare part, you can get rid of a lot of it and then just add parts of it. So maybe I take that out, do that. So at least like it's not an abrupt transition. It doesn't sound as like segmented. Like I think when you first start writing music, you think, oh, very clearly this is the next part, so the next part things happen on the next part, and it's better to like ease it in. Yeah, so let's see how this sounds. I want overall a lighter hit on this guy. Alright, snare's sounding alright. I'm thinking about how we're going to write in a kick part. And I think being sparse in the verse and then heavier in the chorus is probably going to be the move here, right? Like 2 hits in this first part. And maybe like 2 hits in this first part. That is a kick pattern. Alright, we got a little kick and snare pattern worked out. I skipped over some of the beats there. I think we need some chunky little hi-hats. Maybe rides, maybe not rides. We'll see. I think that the idea with the hi-hat here in the sparse part is to just keep it consistent, but play around what's already there. Let's see. Yeah, I think I like something like that. I feel like hi-hat should generally kind of keep like a consistent pulse, but also be musical, have a nice bass. So let's start with that. Alright, so here's an important step with the percussion that is something on a personal level I've been trying to get better about. So I've established like a pattern here. So we've we've got that, and it's interesting, but it's nice if you leave it a little sparse at first and allow it to develop into the interesting thing instead of just see, that's already kind of a complete idea. I guess the snare is not fully developed there, but like with the hi-hat, we want it to have room to grow. We want it to get more interesting, nuanced, and complicated later on in the section. So you can do that by just like simplifying the beat. So like right now, if let's see, if it sounds something like this. Maybe like we get rid of parts. So now it's just a little more interesting when we get this full, like entirely developed part. Let's see, and then go back. Yeah, and that kind of rolls together, and then we can get something different. Cymbals are such a nice way to really nail down the fact that sections are different. You know, we've already got different melody, different harmony, different instrumentation to a point, but yeah, we can get kind of creative here. Maybe I kind of feel a ride. Let's give a ride a shot. Might sound cool to have less release on the ride here. Okay, a little bit of release. Yep, let's just try like fast notes like that. Oop. Yeah, let's just try fast notes like that and see what the ride's doing. All right, we got a lot of cymbals. Let's edit them. Let's get them sounding nice. All right, I think these cymbals are sounding pretty nice. So the idea here, I wanted to mainly get this like eighth note thing. but I wanted to leave space just to make it interesting. And also, like, I think a cool part of this chorus here is the way that there's that space there. It makes it sound like, I don't know, a little interesting to me. Things are sounding pretty cool now. I'm generally not huge into using the kit sound, but it really was kind of calling for it here. And I think the combination of this really neat cassette drum kit that just has like a a cool crunchy sound combined with a bit of verb here, nice like big vintage sounding thing, really makes it interesting. I also carried the ride out into this verse here, and this is much more just spacious and consistent, but it kind of opens up. I think a good way to think about cymbals, especially if you're really new to percussion, which even like I somewhat am, it's nice to just think about cymbals like, do they sound big or small, and do they sound tight or open? Those are like functionally how cymbals end up working a lot of the time. At least to someone who's not a drummer, that's how it seems. So like something here, it's a tight sound, and it's generally it's not big and washy or anything. And then you get here with the ride, it's just things generally open up, and you kind of achieve that with the sound of the ride being open, even with the release cut back. Also kind of with the way that they're arranged on the eighth notes. Yeah, sounds cool. And then things really open up when we stick with the ride, but we half the notes here. Just think, here. Just think about like the feel between this section and then the next. I hope maybe that illustrates whatever point I'm trying to make there. That's a nice way to kind of think about drums. Maybe at this point we can just listen to the song from the beginning and see where we're going. Nice, that's sounding really cool. It's starting to sound like a song, at like the beginning shapes. It's absolutely missing a bass. Some sort of bass track is what we can add next. But I will say, as I was writing them, I was pretty unsure about this counter melody with that chorus pad, and I think that it really serves the song well. Try it without it. It's really missing something there, So I'm just gonna think of something simple with the bass. We can even keep it. It seems like there's plenty of like bass synth options within this. What are we doing? Labs within that Astral Form. So let's go crazy. Do that. It's that like experimental, I think. I might just not be a smart guy, but I don't think there's a search function on Labs. If we could get that, that would just be lovely, wouldn't it? Alright, I'm going to play around with these, find something that sounds good. Alright, I found something that I like. This, let's see, like, the Nasty Teens, they're coming back. And if you get the dynamics too high, it's a little crunchy, but soft dynamics on that. It's pretty nice. So let's play around, see what we can come up with. Alright, we're back. We got some bass written out. I ended up, so I kind of let it come in at the end here. And again, just trying to develop ideas. I start out with just one long note. And then I get a little more complicated this second time around as things get more complex. So I get this pattern of like the bass doing this like that. And those guys could be pulled out a little bit, right? But yeah, and then in the chorusy part, a little more simple, but still some movement going on, especially over the C chord. So these are all the roots of the chord that I'm playing. Except for stuff like that. There, you know, it's something, so that's the fifth of the chord. It's something that works well over the chord and then leads into the next chord well. Because see, here I'm over a C chord and I'm playing a C. If you're not too keen on theory, that's all right. G is a very fundamental note in the C chord. It's the fifth of it. So I pop down there because I know it's safe and it adds a little movement and then leads really well into the A because it's closer to the A than the C was. So we've got C, then G, A. That's nice, but otherwise it's bass. I'm no bassist. I'm really just keeping it clean and consistent. All right, we're back. I ended up looking at the kick and the bass as well and kind of editing. We want them to match. Like kick and bass, they're both delivering that low end punch, and it's nice for them to generally line up. Like it doesn't have to be perfect, but before with the kick pattern, they were kind of arguing, and I liked the pattern that I had with the bass, so I just moved them around to line up. See how that low end punch is all, oh, I missed, oh no, I just left that one out. Sometimes it's nice to just leave out hits, but yeah, I think that sounds pretty good. Yeah. Maybe a little too much bass in general. But I think that things are really shaping up. This could easily be further developed with a couple more A and B parts, but I did want to keep this somewhat brief so there's not too much to digest. I think we just need to have a nice way to end, something to kind of pad it out. I think that we don't need an intro because things build into themselves well enough as it is. Maybe we could do like a bar of this first chord. Let me play around with that and come back. Maybe there's something else that would be interesting. All right, what's up? I just tidied things up a bit, kind of put a bow on everything. So I ended up deciding to just extend this chord for somewhat of like an intro. We don't need a huge intro here because this first part of that first verse-ish section really works well as an intro because of the way that things kind of develop and come together. And just as like a quick and dirty way to end it, I had it kind of extend this last thing, come back to the first chord, which is like the tonic of the key. And then I also dragging things out. I'm pressing V here to show the volume envelope. And yeah, just let the volume go down. This is a cool tip some people might not know. So if you select 2 points, like Control, and then right click the space in between, you can set the shape. So like by, normally it's this linear look here, but yeah, I like this fast start end type of thing. Okay, or sorry, slow start, slow end. The Bezier is cool. Square is not, in my opinion. Yeah, just lets things end out pretty well. So I think overall this is a pretty cool little like quick experiment. The way that I write music, I start with something like this, and then I come back and I add more layers and edit it. And there's definitely room for that. We could add some textural stuff. We could tie things together. We could make the rhythm a little more nuanced. And then really we just have like a verse, chorus, verse. We could add, another chorus after this, more verse, some bridge, some like alternate instruments taking the lead. But I did say I'd keep this fairly brief. I think that as an instructional video, getting like a jumping off point like this, just to kind of give someone the idea, hey, this is a way that you can make music that has some sort of like logical, systemic type of approach. I don't know. I think that that's where the value is. Maybe if it makes sense, I can come back to it for another episode, or maybe we can just start from scratch for another. But I do think that this is a fun format to do. It's fun to record. Yeah, I hope that people like it as well. But I think to tie things off, we should listen to the song, right? We should go through from the very beginning to the very end and bask in our hard work, in the fruits of our labor, which is ultimately the best part about writing music. It's the basking. All right, let's check this dude out. All right. That was so good. I'm honestly really happy with how that turned out. Listening, my mind is racing for all sorts of fun little things that you could do to spice it up. But I think that considering where we're at with writing this sounds really great. It's really fun to do. So yeah, I think I'm gonna call it here. Maybe we'll revisit this, maybe not. But I hope that you learned something, or at least had fun checking this out. All right, take care, everyone. Get out of here.